Very simple word problem. Very simple problem. I want a product of two integers which is equal to 72. I think we looked at it earlier,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Two consecutive.
So two consecutive integers multiplied together equals 72.
9 and 8.
So so you would say you'd say 9 times 8 is 72, right? And so the product of two consecutive integers at 72, you'd say 9 times 8. You're done, right? Simple. You've done it. Too easy a problem. Let's actually look at setting up some algebra. If I say two consecutive integers, you think x and x plus 1. Those are the two consecutive integers. So are the two consecutive integers. The product is 72. So what's the equation? Duncan?
X squared plus 1x minus 72.
X squared plus.
X minus 72 equals 0.
All right, so I'm simpler here. So x times x plus 1 is 72.
Yeah.
And then you multiplied that out, getting
X squared plus x minus 72.
okay. What kind of equation is that? A quadratic equation. How many roots do you see coming?
0.
We might want to look at the discriminant. What is the discriminant? Yeah.
A squared minus 4ac.
So in this case, 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times 72, and that's greater than 0.
No, but it's plus. But it's plus 72.
Ah, minus a negative, so it is plus. Excellent. So, what's that tell us?
So there's going to be
Two roots. All right. So we could use the quadratic formula and get the two roots. But since we are currently working on factoring, the two factors of 72 that differ by 1. Why do I say differ?
Because they're consecutive.
What are the, yeah, go ahead.
Because there's only one x.
Well, x, what are the signs going to be?
Plus and plus.
Plus,
Plus.
plus and,
Minus.
well, I don't know. I don't know. But I do know that when I multiply that by that, I'm going to get negative 72.
So plus and minus. Yeah.
So one has to be plus and one has to be minus. All right? Now, what two numbers multiply to 72 and there are going to be some positive x's and there are going to be some negative x's. Right? So they're competing. So I need factors of 72 which differ by only 1. And what are they? 9 and 8. Which wins? 9 is bigger than 8. The positives win. Ah, good. So we need to have the positives win. So the 9 has to be positive and the 8 has to be negative. Does that make sense? So now here's where we have an interesting thing we haven't really talked about. We have two factors equals 0. So a statement like that is true if either of the factors equals 0, right? So if x plus 9 equals 0, then this statement is true. 0 times something is 0. Or if x minus 8 equals 0, it's true. So x would equal negative 9 or x would equal 8. If x equals 8, what's x plus 1? 9. And there's the answer that we had. Oh, but if x equals negative 9, what's x plus 1? Negative 8. And we didn't even have that answer.
But it's still true.
But it is still true. This is another possibility, right? So there are really two answers to this question. If I say, give me two consecutive integers, which when you multiply them together, you get 72, Quickly you said 8 and 9, and you're done. You circle it, and you say, I'm finished. And you got, on a test, less than half credit. Why? Well, first of all, you didn't get the full answer. And most importantly, you didn't show any setup or work or even thought. You just said, well, I got some numbers in my head, and bang. So you really fell into a bear trap. Right? This is only half the answer. The answer would be, it could be 8 and 9, or -9 and -8. And that would be the answer we'd want to see. But even most importantly, this is the work that you'd want to show. Right? This is a pretty trivial problem. But it certainly shows us how to think about the problem. We declare a variable, and we see what the consequences are. We set up an equation, and then we run with it. We just see where it goes. Sometimes it's surprising, and we have to think, oh yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes it leads us to false answers, and we have to say, nope, those answers don't make sense. They're off our domain, right? But the setup and the execution is really what we're trying to do. Right. So this is a trivial problem, but it had some nice things about it. The setup and execution is even more important when you don't know the answer off the top of your head, obviously. Okay, well that's that. We'll leave that as a quick demo.